You, sir.
Thank you. It starts with Will, but then it opens up to everybody else. Will, one of my favorite pieces is I Am the Modern Man. And you said something exceedingly clever in there, which was age and treachery will always win out over youth and vigor, which you may not, from the blank look you're giving me, remember.
Well, but that's not mine. That's an apocryphal saying.
Excellent. That was part one of my question was, did you say that, or where was it from? Because I don't have internet. Thank you. And then down the line, what is something clever that you have said and been very proud of? Wow, that was very clever. Very proud of this.
That's a good question.
And it can start with Will, since that wasn't you.
What is something clever you have said that you're like, oh, pretty clever?
Oh, you know what? I'm going to take a 0.
My bio on Twitter, I Googled Jesus out of before I used it because I was certain someone else had used it. But it's this is how the world ends, not with a blog, but a Twitter.
Hold your applause to the end and then we'll judge.
It's not, oh God. I should take a 0, but I'll just, I'm gonna take a 0. It's not good. It's not that great.
You know, there are so many things that I say that I just say to myself, damn, you're clever. But on this very boat just the other night, I had the veal. I'm in this particular sort of entertainment audience, and I got to say to myself in my own mind, enjoy the veal.
Monkey faces. But really, we do a lot of Twitter hashtag games.
Oh, yeah.
What? And
You know what that is?
Yes.
okay. So
October of 2009.
but my favorite clever is the clever that generates other clever and allows a framework of clever. So I would say the WikiLeaks is my favorite.
The one that springs to mind, and I don't know, I think it was sort of a combined effort. In our old band, Richie's Notebook, we did a Meatloaf parody song. And the opening lines are still one of my favorite things we've ever written, which was, you all know Meatloaf, right?
Yeah.
The opening two lyrics are, when the streets shoot fire with a thunderbolt roll and the bloodshot demons run free. Which I thought just rides that great crest of stupid and awesome and parody that you never really quite makes sense. Yeah, you can hear the ruffle, you can smell the sweat.
When you are a musician, you have a music publishing company that you have to name. That you'll see it on the back of everyone's CD. What's your music publishing company called?
C.K. Dexter Haven Publishing. It's from a Philadelphia store. Yeah.
Wow. All right. Every musician has one, and it's exceedingly difficult to think of a name for your music publishing company that someone else hasn't thought of already. Because everyone wants to have a pun in their music publishing company name, except for perhaps Holland Storm. I named my music publishing company Beats Working Music. And that, when I came up with it, I was in a group of musicians, and they were like, "Ha! There's probably 20 of those already." And then I registered it, and it was mine, Beats Working Music. I was so proud of that. That was 10 years ago. I haven't said a smart thing since.
I can't think of anything clever I've ever said. I make a lot of stupid dad jokes, and I don't remember any of those either.
I'm going to take it. How do you follow that? I took a 0 on the clever statement, but one thing I am kind of proud of sometimes when I can make an homage that I think a lot of people will get. And I wrote a story in my book about how impossible it is on the Microsoft campus to navigate inside of our buildings because the buildings themselves are complex, but the signage is just torturous. It's rooms just drop off randomly, and I call the story "A Maze of Twisty Passages All Alike." I'm really proud of that homage, so that's what it's probably.
this probably doesn't qualify as clever technically. And I think it's just because I was talking to you last night about it. We did, on Mystery Science Theater, we did these blockbuster specials where we would do like clips of the upcoming Hollywood movies. And we actually did Titanic way back in the day. And then we did it again with riff tracks last year. There was only one line that I had written in that I wanted to hold over. It's the moment in the first, say, 20 minutes of the film, the ship has just taken off. This is very apt, given that we're on a ship here, which is about to sink. And they have that pan over the deck, that sort of CGI pan over the deck, and it goes up to the captain there with his gray beard, and it's played by the guy who was Theoden in Lord of the Rings. Very stately looking man. Bernard Hill, I think is the name of the actor. Just comes right up on him, proudly looking over the deck of the ship, and the line I wrote was, "I'm gonna sink this bitch." but truly effective.
The advantage of sitting at this end of the line is you get to think about these answers. The disadvantage is you have to think about these answers. Right now, the only clever thing that I can think I've ever said or written was, "Hey guys, can I come on your cruise?" Maybe I can host something for you. But no, the only, I don't know. I say stuff all the time and then immediately forget it. But the only thing I will say is something a friend of mine said. He was a professor at Lewis and Clark College, PDX. And he said to me years ago, he said, "You should always judge any potential experience by its future anecdotal value." And that is how I have strived to live my life.
So somebody should take off their pants now.
So that later we can, then you can say, well, then I took off my pants and I spent the rest of the cruise in a small room. And that's a good story. So, yeah.
Do not take off your pants.
You don't want to hear the clever things that I've said, because I don't say the clever things, or at least it doesn't feel that way to me. The clever things are always like gifts from some other person who is invisible, because I am schizophrenic. But I mean, the stuff that you really like, oh my God, where did that come from? That's a legit question. It's like, it's not me. Because the jokes that I make are dumb, believe me. I'm making a lot of them in my cabin. I'm working on this new book, which is the last book that I'll write in this series of fake trivia books, and so it's dealing with the end of the world, because that's happening next year now, officially. And so the only thing that I really like about this next book is this one line that I wrote about Quetzalcoatl, who is returning in 2012 to judge us all. And I wrote Quetzalcoatl, which in the original Toltec means feather boa.
What about you? What's the most clever thing you've ever said?
I'm going to take a 0 on that.
All right.
Mr. Furman and I wish to withdraw our zeros and make actual entries. I once said on Twitter, "How is Babby put in corner?" And I sat back from my desk and I thought, that was clever. And no one's gonna get it. But that's okay, it's just for me. Screw you, 1.7 million people.
By the way, thank you for letting us redeem ourselves with, it's hard to damn, not one clever thing in 35 years. I think I would have to say that my album name, my solo album name is I'm very happy that it ended up being that. It's called The Very Last Songs I Will Ever Record, Part 1.
What's with your shirt?
It says, "I like my splicers like I like my coffee covered in bees."